What's up, guys? JTwoH back here for a video. It's been a minute since my last video, and it was the 2008 Year In TNA DVD reviews. So today we're going to be doing 2009, and as you can see, we cleaned house as far as, under the coffee table. We got our puppy on Friday, so we've been prepping and cleaning and been really busy with that, and just other crazy random busy stuff. But anyway, we're gonna start this out right where we left off with the Cross the Line 3-pack with the Main Event Mafia, except we're gonna skip right to Genesis. Alright, so Genesis 2009. Plain. It's all good. You got LAX and Eric Young versus Rave, Kiyoshi, and Sonjay Dutt. Shane Sowell versus Sheik Abdul-Bashir. Oh, that's the ref. The ref finally gets a match. ODB, Roxy, and Taylor Wilde versus Saeed, Raka Khan, and Sojourner Bolt. Chris Sabin versus Alex Shelley. That was a good match. Beer Money Inc. versus Abyss and Morgan versus Lethal Consequences. Foley, AJ Styles, and Brother Devon of the Front Line versus Booker T, Kevin Nash, and Scott Steiner. I could have sworn... Oh, yeah, Kip James, I think, fills in for... one of them. I want to say it's Mick Foley. But it could be Kevin Nash. I don't know. Kip James is in there somewhere, too. And then the rematch between Jeff Jarrett and Angle from the... Bound for Glory. And then Rhino versus Sting for the world title, which I really liked that main event. It's not the best match, but I love Rhino and I love Sting, and I love Rhino in a world title match, that late in his career, so it was pretty nice. And then Against All Odds 2009. Now, I really think that, I love the new logo, by the way, they switched logos. And I really think that TNA stepped up their game in 2009 as far as the back, the DVD artwork and their DVDs in general. You go from generic ass stuff like this to, decent effort. It might not be perfection, but it's decent effort. It was nice. So we got Shelley versus Young for the X Division title, Steiner versus Petey Williams, Magnus versus Sabin, Awesome Kong versus ODB, Shane Sowell versus Booker T for the Legends title. How do you get a Legends title match? I don't know. Biz versus Matt Morgan, Beer Money versus Lethal Consequences, Sting, Kurt Angle, Brother Ray, and Brother Devon all in a fatal four-way for the world title. The main event is actually decent for having the Dudleys in it pre-Bully Ray, just regular, Team 3D. So, decent one there. Destination X 2009. See, again, it's some decent artwork, man. It was pretty... And they're shaking things up every time. Wild, Roxy, and Governor versus the Beautiful People. Oh, I think that's supposed to be Sarah Palin. Magnus versus Eric Young. It was a decent rivalry. It goes all the way to, 2013? 2014? 10,000 Taxman, Matt Morgan, Abyss. Oh, I forgot about that. Sojo Bolt versus Awesome Kong. Scott Steiner versus Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe. I think that's in during Joe's god-awful, just really weird phase for whatever reason. AJ Styles versus Booker T for the Legends title. I think it was where AJ Styles goes over for the Legends title, which is pretty cool. Off the Wagon challenge between Team 3D and Beer Money there. Ultimate X Division challenge between Ultimate X match for the X Division Championship. Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Lethal versus Consequences Creed versus Suicide. And then you get that picture right there. And then Sting versus Angle for the world title. Special referee Jeff Jarrett and special enforcer Mick Foley. So, kind of a cluster main event, but And then this moves to Lockdown 2009. And 2009 I enjoyed more than 2008. They weren't on the road as much, but I don't know, I just felt like it was going in a pretty good direction. This is the only DVD release I can remember or think of that has a box slipcase for really no reason. It's almost like how they do TV seasons, but it's pretty cool, and it's kind of hard to find now with the box because everyone's like, why do I need it? So, New Japan Pro Wrestling Junior titles between Machine Guns, No Limit, and LAX. Queen of the Cage between ODB, Madison Rayne, Daphne, and Sojo Bolt. Doomsday Chamber of Blood returns between Abyss and Matt Morgan. Kong vs. Love vs. Wild. Escape match between Suicide Lethal, Kiyoshi, Consequences Creed, and Sheik Abdul Bashir. Philadelphia Street Fight, Team 3D versus Beer Money. Pretty good match. Lethal Lockdown, Team Angle, Kurt Angle, Kevin Nash, Booker T, and Scott Steiner versus Team Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Daniels. Oh, cool, Daniels is back. And then this is where Bobby Lashley debuts for the first time, so that's pretty sweet. And then Foley versus Sting is a decent match. It's more storyline than actual wrestling, but it's still cool to see him lock him up. Like, how crazy random of a match, I guess. Sacrifice 2009. Not a gaming nut, but I'm pretty sure that's a reference to Gears of War or something. If you know what it is, let me know, because I have no idea. I would just assumed Gears of War all these years. So, pre-show match: Kiyoshi versus Amazing Red. 6-man tag team match: Eric Young and Lethal Consequences versus Sheik Abdul Bashir and the Motor Machine Guns. Taylor Wilde versus Daphne, and a Knockouts Monsters Ball. Suicide versus Daniels for the X Division title, which is hilarious because Daniels ends up playing Suicide. And Suicide in this match is Kazarian. So, Angelina Love versus Awesome Kong. Kevin Nash versus Joe. Still with Joe's whole angle. I didn't like that angle at all. Finals of the Team 3D tournament. Beer Money versus the British Invasion. AJ Styles versus Booker T. And an I Quit match for the Legends title, so he did go over at Destination X. And then the Ultimate Sacrifice match for the TNA World title. Foley, Sting, Jarrett, and Angle. Now this match, to me, even to me, it's super confusing because they all have to offer up a personal sacrifice, whatever. I think Foley, it's the title, and then Jarrett will never wrestle for the belt again. Angle, something, Sting. So I don't remember what they offer up, but you'd think the winner would win and be able to keep whatever he sacrificed, and the three would lose. But it's whoever lost the pin, the fall, lost the whatever they sacrificed. So a goofy match. Is an in-between pay-per-view, so you don't expect much from it. Slammiversary 2009 will always go down as my favorite pay-per-view. It's nostalgic, and pop it open and show you why. I was at Slammiversary 2009. Pretty sweet, the one and only TNA show I've ever been to. And I was super stoked, and it was a good show. Some goofy bookings and whatever, but man, it's really fun live, I had to admit. I had a great time. British Invasion versus Rhino and Eric Young. Angelina Love versus Velvet Sky versus Tara. X Division King of the Mountain, X Division Championship King of the Mountain match. Suicide, Shelley, Sabin, Lethal, and Consequences Creed. I just like the event because it seemed too good to be. I love the King of the Mountain match, and the one I go to, they have two, and for whatever reason, Raven was back in a feud, and I love Raven. Kurt Angle goes out on the main event, and my favorite wrestler. So I don't know, it was just great. My favorite TNA event by far. So back to the Monsters Ball tag team match: Abyss and Taylor Wilde versus Raven and Daphne. So they had a decent feud, Taylor Wilde and Daphne. Second chance match: Daniels versus the franchise Shane Douglas. See, goofy bookings like that. Like, why? 3D versus Beer Money Inc. If Morgan wins, he joins Main Event Mafia. Sting versus Matt Morgan. That wasn't bad for those two. There's a kitten again. King of the Mountain match for the world title: Foley, Angle, Jarrett, Styles, and Joe. And that was, again, during Joe's god-awful gimmick, man. Hated it. So, pretty sweet. Slammiversary for 2009. Victory Road 2009. Pretty badass cover there. Badass logo. Badass titties. I remember when I bought this. In 2009, I would have been 15. So, when I bought this, my dad was like, ooh, what do we have here? And he turned it over and he sees Kurt Angle. He's like, oh, okay, you can have it. Sure, whatever. So, little tidbit there. Team 3D versus the British Invasion. Matt Morgan versus Daniels. Oh, that's the IWGP tag titles. Abyss versus Dr. Stevie Richards. Tara versus Angelina Love with the beautiful people. Jenna Morasca with Awesome Kong versus Sharmell Soulja Bolt. She was in a movie with Kurt Angle, I think. Something. She had some reason for being here. AJ Styles versus Kevin Nash for the Legends title. The World Tag titles between Beer Money and Scott Steiner and Booker T. Sting versus Samoa Joe. And Kurt Angle versus Mick Foley. This is a goofy card just because it was really focused on the main event Mafia. So you see people like Angle go over, Joe go over, and then Booker T and Steiner win the tag titles. Kevin Nash wins the Legends title. It's just, I don't know, it was goofy to me. But it was cool because I like I didn't mind that angle. So, and then you go into Hard Justice 2009. I think this one I actually streamed live. I did, because I remember laughing my ass off at how short the Big Rob versus Hernandez match was. It was like 15 seconds. And Hernandez got to keep his case. So, Steel Asylum #1 contenders match. D'Angelo Dinero. Suicide. There's that, I was talking about those typos. Look at that. Why is there one quotation? Where's the other quotation? Pope. But anyway, D'Angelo Dinero, Suicide. Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Jay Lethal, Consequences Creed, Daniels Amazing Red. What did they call it before? The Terror Dome, that's what it was. New Japan Tag Team titles, British Invasion versus Beer Money. $50,000 Bounty Challenge, Abyss versus Jethro Holiday, Trevor Murdoch. X Division Championship match, Homicide versus the Samoan Submission Machine, Samoa Joe, with Taz. Taz is at this event. I think he actually debuts over in Victory Road. I can't remember. But Joe had won the title on Impact, I think. Knockouts title match. Angelina Love versus ODB with Cody Deaner. Fucking Cody Deaner. The Legends title between Foley and Nash. Oh, there it is. Trevor Murdoch. Foley and Nash. Tag team titles. No DQ must be a winner. Booker T and Scott Steiner versus Team 3D. World Heavyweight Championship match. Kurt Angle versus Sting versus Matt Morgan. That one actually isn't too bad either. I don't mind Matt Morgan as a competitor. I wish they would have put the belt on him at least once. At least. Even for a short time. But No Surrender 2009 with big old Bobby Lashley. But I really like how they did I can't get over how much I like the way they did the DVDs this year. Don't worry, they ruin it towards the end of the year, but I'll show you that in a minute. D'Angelo Dinero versus Suicide. Hernandez versus Eric Young. Knockouts tag team titles. Beautiful People versus Taylor Wilde and Sarita. Cody Deaner versus ODB for no reason. Lethal Lockdown. Really underrated Lethal Lockdown here between the British Invasion, Booker T and Scott Steiner versus Team 3D and Beer Money. There's a lot of great tag teams in that match, and it's just, you never hear about that one because it's on a No Surrender, not a Lockdown pay-per-view. TNA Legends title match. TNA Legends versus $50,000 bounty. Kevin Nash versus the Monster Abyss. I think the $50,000 bounty was a Stevie Richards thing, so. Samoa Joe versus Daniels for the X Division title. Pretty good. Not their best match because of Joe's fucking gimmick, but whatever. Sorry about my language. The Boss, Bobby Lashley, the Destroyer Bobby Lashley, versus Rhino. So this is his debut. Fatal 4-Way, Angle, Matt Morgan, Sting versus Styles. And and Hernandez, he cashes in right before the match starts. And don't get me wrong, I love that Styles goes over. He's the, in my opinion, the greatest, TNA champion. But Hernandez I thought was on a hot streak with the championship, or with the briefcase or whatever. He cashes it in to nothing, for no reason. So, but it's I don't know, live and let live, I guess. Bound for Glory 09, 2-disc set. Pretty good Bound for Glory. I loved the main event and everything, so. Live pre-show match, winning team advanced to Ultimate X, Machine Guns versus Lethal Consequences. It's crazy to think where Lethal Consequences is, right? You got Xavier Woods and Jay Lethal. You got one ruling ROH and one the longest reigning World Tag Team Champion, and WWE history, so it's crazy. Ultimate X for the TNA Championship, TNA X Division Championship. Amazing Red with Don West, for whatever reason, versus Daniels, Homicide, Suicide, Chris Sabin, and Alex Shelley. So, gee, I wonder who wins that match. Knockouts Tag Team titles, Taylor Wilde and Sarita versus the Beautiful People. TNA Knockouts Championship, ODB versus Awesome Kong versus Tara. Some heavy hitters there, man. Full Metal Mayhem for the IWGP and World Tag Team titles. It's almost a 2 out of 3 falls Full Metal Mayhem match. Whoever pulls down the IWGP wins the first fall and that belt, and then whoever pulls down the other one wins that fall and that belt. So, kind of confusing, but it's a super underrated. I love the angle with these 4 teams and the 2 sets of belts. So, Monsters Ball, Hardcore Extreme, Abyss versus Mick Foley, finally. So, oh yeah, this is where Daniels and I think it's Kazarian playing Suicide do that crazy bump, and it looks like Daniels dies. So, Lashley versus Joe in a really good match, and you don't suffer too much from Joe's gimmick in that match. Kurt Angle versus Matt Morgan in a decent match, and then AJ Styles and Sting in the match of the night. So, pretty good Bound for Glory. I'd have to say better than 2008's Bound for Glory. And then, just when TNA does a great year of DVDs, they look great and everything, then they come out with this Cross the Line 3-pack, which would be great if it was set up like this Cross the Line 3-pack, but it's not. It's one case with 3 events in it. You got Turning Point 2010 and Final Resolution 2010, which is great, but then Against All Odds 2010. Now, if you're keeping score at home, they're missing an event. So I don't know why. Probably because this event couldn't sell by itself if they gave away a dog with it. So, but anyway, the Triple Threat pack. And there's not much to show off for this one, so I'll just read the card to you. Turning Point 09. But don't get me wrong, this is a great value. Definitely pick this up if you don't have it, because these 2 alone are worth it. You get it's almost like you get a bonus 2010 post Hulk Hogan era event, because these events are really, it's the end of 2009, so they're still really good. They're still hot, I thought. And then Hogan killed the momentum. But anyway, 6 knockout tags for All the Gold. ODB, Taylor Wilde and Sarita versus the Beautiful People, back when they had the Knockouts tag titles, which didn't last. Kurt Angle versus Desmond Wolfe in the match of the night already. You can see it. I don't think it's actually second from the bottom, but match of the night. Kurt Angle versus Nigel McGuinness 100% of the time. I could watch that match all the time. 3D and Rhino versus Matt Morgan, Hernandez, and D'Angelo De Niro. Awesome Kong versus Tara in a cage match. Amazing Red versus Homicide was pretty good. The TNA World Tag Team titles. The British Invasion versus the Machine Guns versus Beer Money. Bobby Lashley versus Scott Steiner. And then the TNA World Heavyweight Championship Triple Threat match between Styles, Joe, and Daniels. And again, Joe's gimmick didn't get in the way. I don't even know if he still has it at this point, because it didn't last very long. But it's just a really good, it's, again, not as good as their Unbreakable one. Way better than their Against All Odds 2006 one. And better than the Ultimate X Triple Threat. So, it's the second best one. Feast or Fire 2 at this point, featuring Beer Money, Young, Nash, Sheik Abdul Bashir, Davari, Kiyoshi, Cody Deaner, Jay Lethal, Consequences, Creed, Rob Terry, Mojo, and Homicide. Raven and Dr. Stevie versus Mick Foley and Abyss. So pretty sweet hardcore match there. 8-man tag elimination. I love elimination tag matches. 3D, Rhino, and Jesse Neal, the Marine guy. Matt Morgan, Hernandez, Suicide, and D'Angelo De Niro. They must have had some sort of rivalry or clique going there or something. TNA World Tag Team titles. British Invasion versus the Motor City Machine Guns. ODB versus Terra for the Knockouts title. 3 Degrees of Pain, Kurt Angle and Desmond Wolfe. Again, this match is awesome. I don't think it's as good as that one, but still really good. Best match of the night again. Lashley versus Steiner, Last Man Standing. And Final Resolution 2009, AJ Styles versus Daniels. So there you have it, guys. And I'll get to Against All Odds in the next video, but so there you have it, guys. 2009, A Year in TNA DVDs. Make sure you're liking these, and holy, I must have remembered a lot about 2009 because I talked for a while. But anyway, make sure you like, share, subscribe, get the word out. Let me know. I'd love to talk. I love talking to you guys. So comment. Let me know what you think. Favorite match 2009. Whatever. Comment whatever you want. Also, I should have fixed the 2008 video. I told you I was gonna put a box, and I didn't. So it should be up now over here, 2008, and then over here eventually will be 2009. Little links. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later, YouTube.